true love was true.
Oh, this was big at the sock hops when I was a kid. Half the time you'd have to take the walk of shame. Did you have sock hops growing up?
Like a dance?
Yeah.
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 I don't think we call them sock hops, though.
They were called, but it was corny stuff when I grew up.
Yeah.
And yet, this would be one of the songs. Oh, it's a slow song. Let's go dance with the girl.
Yeah. You get to put your arms
And
around
then
the chick.
and then you get the rejection, and then you have the walk of shame back across the
Waiting
dance.
for your buddies to clown on you.
Yeah. The walk of shame. We've all taken the walk of shame, haven't we, guys? Okay. 303-297-1510 is the phone number. Let me tell you about Max Gil and Grill, 1052 South Gaylord. In my opinion, and my opinion counts on this show, Denver's finest seafood restaurant. Although they not just seafood. You go in on Saturday night, you can get a live Maine lobster for $19.95. So when you talk about quality of food and the fact that you don't need to get a second job to be able to go there, you go to some of these seafood restaurants in downtown. Oh my goodness, I can't afford to eat there. So Max Grill and Grill is a combination of quality and reasonable pricing, which to me makes my restaurants unique. Love the place. Love going in there. The first thing you hear is welcome to Max Grill and Grill, and you will have no problems. They will ask you about it. Everything will be perfect. Then they will thank you on the way out. They do a great job. They got front bar, and then they have a little back bar, which is great for sitting back there watching sports. And it's a very big place. And try their lobster roll when you go. The first thing you want to do, look at the menu, and then order the lobster roll. Then you will see on their menu all the things that you need to get next time and the time after that. I go to restaurants all the time. I can't find anything I want on just 2 or 3 things that you may want to order, which doesn't necessarily drive you back. But when you say 10 things you want on a menu, you're coming back, you're going back in a very short time. That's on South Gaylord. Max Grill and Grill, 1052 South Gaylord. Tell them I sent you. 303-297-1510. We're going to be getting back to movie taglines, and joining me, Hollie Groos from catchitintime.com. I know a lot of you went to the website and looked at I guess my story about being a cancer survivor, and their entire organization, catchitintime.org, has been formulated and put together to make sure that people catch it in time. And I do encourage you to go there, and just it's nice and easy to remember, catchitintime.org. I'm on the front page. I'm not the lead story anymore.
Sorry about it.
I just found that out. Hollie Groos joins us. Hi, Hollie.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going very, very well. How did all this get started?
Well, the co-founders, Keith Singer and Lee Suddy, both had people in their lives, in their, their friends, in their community that had cancer, and they realized that everyone has a cancer story. I have a cancer story. You have a cancer story. Everyone has been touched and affected by this in one way or the other. And so they decided that they wanted to be a part of it, and all the research and compounding information that's been coming out in recent years says that early detection and prevention are the most important. So that's what Catching in Time stresses. Healthy lifestyles, preventative lifestyles, and then early detection, being aware of your body, talking to your doctor, etc.
And ever since, I really started around 50. All of a sudden, my blood pressure got a little high, and there's always and that's when I really figured out that I was not going to live forever, but I might want to extend the amount of time that I have. So I mean, there's no longer that live hard, die young, leave a good looking corpse kind of a thing. And so that's when I started paying more attention to that type of thing, going in for regular checkups on a regular basis. I was getting my PSAs. And once my PSAs became elevated, every year to 18 months, I was going in for a biopsy for my prostate cancer. which we detected early, and so I was. I'd like to say I was one of the lucky ones, but I was one of the diligent ones. And and you don't want to leave it to luck. You want to leave it to a little bit of diligence.
Exactly. And you were very proactive. I mean, you knew your risk factor. You had seen that in your family. And that's, one of the most important things as well is looking at your family history, looking at specific types of cancers that you would be susceptible to. And like you said, just being proactive and being diligent. And, cancer can happen to anybody, young people, old people, in between. And so
they used to say for prostate cancer, you want to start checking it around 50. And now they're saying you want to start checking around 35.
Right. And, there's certain cancers that are more dangerous for youth, like breast cancer, for instance, in women is much more detrimental at an earlier.
How big a deal is the Angelina Jolie coming out and proactively having a double mastectomy? And she doesn't even have breast cancer, but she was predisposed to most likely 70, 80. I think I saw 87% chance with her background and her gene pool and all the things that go with that she was going to get it. And one of the most beautiful women in the world with breast. I'm telling you, I've seen her breast that you didn't want her to damage in any way. She goes to do that. I mean, we're making a little fun of that. But that's really an important thing for a beautiful sex symbol of her stature to come out and get involved with that.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And if you think about, I think it was Miss Washington in the last contest. She's actually going to go under that here within the next year or so, I believe, because all of the women in her family had passed away from breast cancer, and she actually I was reading an article, and she had a heart-to-heart with her dad that said, this is something you're going to have to do, or breast cancer is most definitely going to be in your future. So, again, a young, beautiful woman, and, she's taking the steps that she needs with her risk factor to make sure that doesn't happen. And there's actually another story, a woman who was very predisposed to have colon cancer, and she removed her colon. I don't know how one does that.
Ouch. Can I just say ouch?
I think that's appropriate.
Did she have someone else do it, or she removed it herself?
I think she probably got professional assistance, at least a supervisor, to make sure she was doing it properly. But no, we joke, but when you're at that kind of a risk, there are pretty extreme options that you have if it, is a pretty high chance that you would be developing this.
You guys are soliciting stories there at Catch It in Time, where people can actually go in and you give them a format that they can join a blog or join just tell their own story. And of those people, are you finding people that you want to do like a video of them like you did with me as well?
Yeah, we're really looking for this month. We've themed it Memorial May, and so we kind of want individuals to reflect back on people that they've lost to cancer or people in their lives who have had cancer, and just sort of honor them this month. And so we've had a few story submissions, and the ones that we think that are really powerful, we will be reaching out to them to potentially do a video project if that seems like something that would be applicable in that scenario. But we've had some pretty powerful stories come in thus far, and it's really cool to see people getting involved, because I think, kind of like we said, it's all about awareness. And the more that we're talking about it, and the more that it's not taboo, that, Angelina Jolie is removing her breasts because she's
when I saw that, I was like, oh no. And then I was like, that is, no, there's there's a gut reaction. And then there's the reality of this beautiful human being, and the fact that she has decided to do this when she didn't have breast cancer. That's the big part of that story to me. But she was so predisposed to get it. She handled the prevention up front.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's big for women across this country, because how many women actually know that they're 85% predisposed to get it?
Right.
That's what's all Catch It in Time is all about.
Sure. And there's, they're coming out with new technologies every day, every week. And there's certain genetic mapping that they're starting to do. And if you have certain mutations or a certain kind of, element to your genetic structure that might make you more predisposed. And there's tons of articles coming out specifically about breast cancer. There's some certain mutation.
So we'll do that. We're not really taking calls in this segment. We'll do them after the top of the hour. We got a couple people on hold, unless they want to call up and have a cancer story. If you've got your own cancer story you'd like to come on the air with, we'd be glad to do that. But we're going to go back. We're doing
movie catchphrases.
Are we listening on the way in?
Yeah, on the way in.
Did you think of one?
I did. It's I guess a little bit obscure, but I get 70 miles to the gallon on this hog. Anything?
You know what that one is? He probably does.
Oh, I don't.
What? Okay, let me give you another one. It's the same movie.
Okay.
Just when I thought you couldn't get any dumber.
I know what it is now.
You go and do something like this.
And totally redeem
yourself.
What is it?
It's Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, okay. I'm not a big raucous sophomore comedy film guy. You know that. Mm-hmm. Everybody here is 25 to 32 years old in our radio station, and they love every idiot film that and I'm a film guy. I'm a film critic. Mm-hmm. I refused to watch those more than the one time I was made to watch them before they came out. So when it comes in, they're remaking Dumb and Dumber, and then they did kind of a sequel to it, which was Dumber and Dumberer, which was horrible.
It was pretty rough. I will say though, Dumb and Dumber is pretty silly, but I think there's some
good one-liners.
There's some good one-liners.
And I think I actually got prostate cancer while watching Freddie Got Fingered.
Oh dear. That probably did happen at the exact same time.
I'm pretty sure it happened while I was watching that. That's how bad that movie was.
I think it's important to have a balance. Some really great dramatic, cinematic monuments, and then the occasional Dumb and Dumber.
I love smart comedy.
Mm-hmm. So what's like a smart comedy that you enjoy?
Oh, what is like a smart comedy?
What is like a smart comedy?
I think I thought, and it's more of a dramedy. Okay. But I thought Silver Linings Playbook, very funny, but there was drama in with it and was very smartly done. Sure. That's more. Maybe I like more dramedies than comedies, which have drama and comedy in them. Forrest Gump was a drama.
Sure.
Lots of, and so those kind of comedies I'm all in. But I have to admit, I'm in on Slapshot. I was in on Something About Mary. Mm-hmm. That was one of the stupidest movies I ever saw, but I can't remember ever laughing more in a film out loud in the theater, which I never do. I cry in the movies all the time. I'm a big sap.
Do you?
I do.
I never used to, but now I can't stop. It's the dumb.
And the older you get, the more you cry. The more sentimental you get. Believe me, I cry watching American Idol.
Wasn't the big thing this week? I don't follow it.
Yes, last night.
Did you cry?
No.
A little bit?
No.
A little bit,
That was just a little bit of a joke. Tonight, they have the elimination. The idol will be crowned. Last night was the last night of the competition.
Okay.
Very good, though.
Good.
So what can people do to get involved with catchitintime.org, who I plan on being affiliated with for a while?
Well, we are happy to have you. And they can get involved with all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, online. You can submit your own story. That would be great. We have really enjoyed having those come in. As well as if you think that there's a candidate for one of our video pieces, there's a place on the website to specifically submit that story to see if we could potentially do a little featurette on you. And yeah, just start getting involved. Start talking to your friends and family about it. It's Skin Protection Awareness Month. Wear your sunscreen. And
we do have women callers and women listeners, but the bulk of you listening to my voice right now are guys. And almost every single one of you are at risk. You need to go check your prostate. You need to check you have your PSAs taken. If your PSA level is higher, you go to your doctor, and your doctor will inform you of the necessary steps and get a biopsy. You can say, I would just love it if someone in the sound of my voice right now goes through that and you find your breast cancer or your prostate cancer or your breast cancer, get a buddy check, whatever they do with that. and just check it out. Listen to my story. Go to my story at catchitintime.com. I'm on the front page right now. I'm about to be canceled. I wasn't renewed for the next season, I don't think.
Not what happened.
Thank you so much, Hollie Groos.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.